Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and after I do this video and upload it, it's Friday, and I'm going to have a glass of wine. That is the plan, Jan. I wanted to start with this. Bitstamp just said, we have started halting XRP trading and deposits for U.S. customers at Bitstamp. Order placing and deposits are already disabled. We will now begin canceling open orders. Customers from other countries are not affected. My interpretation of that, you will no longer be able to buy XRP on Bitstamp starting now. Load up while you can, where you are. That's what I'm doing, at least. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, okay? FUDFit sent me this. While one exchange closes its door, another opens. This is Poloniex. Trade XRP on Poloniex futures. XRP perpetual futures are now open for trading. So there's going to be futures going on. That could get real interesting. XRP BART. This was from Ripple X today. Ripple X, the OCC this week granted banks permission to connect to blockchains, to public blockchains. But how can they build on their benefits? Ripple CTO David Schwartz breaks down how banks can issue stable coins using XRPL. This is what it's all about, folks. Issuing stable coins on the XRP ledger. He did this today. Last year, in the months following, then they're telling what the OCC did, the case for the XRP ledger, and as you go down, and he actually gives instructions on how a bank would issue their own stable coin. Step by step. That is cool. Now, Jonathan D sent me this. David Schwartz had commented on this today as well. Ripple could prohibit financial institutions from issuing. Ripple could prohibit financial institutions from issuing stable coins on the XRP ledger, and they could still do it. You can issue a stable coin if you wish. Let me read that again. Ripple could prohibit financial institutions from issuing stable coins on the XRP ledger, and they could still do it. Okay? So he's saying Ripple could tell them no, but they could still do it. All right? You can issue a stable coin if you wish. And then he also weighed in here from RizXRP, another and timely benefit of the XRP ledger. The unique fungible token functionality that makes it easy for banks to create, issue, and manage stablecoins. I explain how with issued currencies. Now, so this is back to the article. And then we had Monica Long, she weighed in as well. 2020 will be the year CBDCs take off. She runs Ripple X, is my understanding, by the way. They'll play a critical role in our future and global financial systems. But to succeed, the CBDCs will have to inherently interoperate with multiple networks, not just global fiat rails, but also public blockchains. It's almost like the OCC. We call that in basketball an alley-oop. It's almost like they threw the ball up for someone to come in and do the alley-oop, right? All right. Now the Cryptic Poet, he tweeted this out. XRP will be the global bridge to all CBDC and stablecoins. Ripple X in both in-depth demo on how the XRP ledger works. A must watch. I'm not going to show the full video, but I am going to show this clip. Watch this.
All right. So as you can see, we're now going to talk about issued currencies. So what is an issued currency? And the issued currencies on the XRP ledger that we will be talking about are fungible tokens. So fungible tokens are like the US dollar or like any currency that you're familiar with. They're interchangeable. Any token can be exchanged with any other token of the same type, and it will have the same value. So like, you know, if I give you $20 and you hand me another $20 bill back,
excuse me, I am, while you're watching this thing about financially that's going to change the world, I'm staring up the street and I'm watching my 8-year-old walk up the street with 2 of his friends. And he never asked me if he could just walk up the street and go wherever he wants to go. So that's a problem. I'm going to have a talk with him when he gets home. He didn't even talk to me about that. Okay, now back to the world-changing financial technology.
They're both worth $20. They're also divisible, so we can divide these down into smaller units, such as like cents or like a quarter. And then some examples that I have listed here is TrueUSD, Tether, USDC, and Paxos. These are all examples of stablecoins that are fungible tokens.
All right, so that's one little demo, but there's a full link if you wanted to go. He's at One Cryptic Poet if you want to go watch the full video. Crypto Dim sent me this. This is a clip from Dan Moorhead on the next phase of the crypto bull market. Dan Moorhead is I'm drawing a blank on his company. It is Pantera Capital, and he was one of the first investors in Ripple. And I think I've heard him also say he's an XRP holder as well. Don't quote me on that, but I think he does.
It's not all about Bitcoin, as you and I have talked about. I just want to know where your head's at with the other digital assets. I mean, one of the most contentious ones seems to be XRP, and that's, I did a big piece on Real Vision about it. How do you see that project? Because you've been invested in that for a long time now.
Yeah, I think, it's easy to be kind of extremist on currencies, and, some people think it's all one versus all another. I think there's going to be a single digit number of very important blockchains in the long run. There won't be 2,000, but there won't be just one. So we are invested in Bitcoin and ETH and XRP. And at various times we changed our views, and we made a very strong call in our, I think it was a March investor letter, that we wanted to go much longer Bitcoin relative to everything else. Bitcoin we thought would do well in the kind of aftermath of the pandemic's economic shock. But now I think the other currencies are going to outperform Bitcoin. And, this isn't to inspire a bunch of hate trolling, but Bitcoin's going to go up a ton. But I just think other things can outperform it. And partly it's just, Bitcoin's the mega cap. It can't go up and down as much as the tiny little small caps do. And I think we're in a massive bull market. So the smaller cap things have high beta. They're going to outperform. Bitcoin's 62% of the market cap right now. Got up to just below 70. And a few years ago, it was down to 32. So a quick kind of metric would be, I think Bitcoin dominance will drift down by Bitcoin going up and everything else going up a lot more.
What's the most exciting thing you're seeing on XRP, and what's the most exciting thing you're seeing on ETH right now?
XRP is fueling the cross-border money movement that we had, everybody in the industry has been talking about for a long time. Currently, blockchain-enabled cross-border money movement from the United States to Mexico is getting close to 10% of all of that very important $25 billion remittance corridor. So that's a huge success for our industry, that a use case that's really making people's lives better. And if you think about remittance, for those of us in finance, the average remittance cost is 9%, and it's just a number, whatever, it's 900 basis points. But for the migrant, that's a month's wages, right? The migrant has to work for an entire month just to pay their remittance company. So if you can send it, with crypto directly, it's almost free. If you have to, pay an agent, like Bitso or somebody like that, it's 1% or 2%. But it's still, it's already changing people's lives. And obviously, the most important thing in Ethereum is ETH 2.0.
Yeah, ETH 2.0 that
going live.
Flair's about to crush. Okay, Jim Cramer weighed in today. Either it is, they're talking about how gold is not rallying, and he retweeted that, and he said either it is not as chaotic out there so gold doesn't jump, or it's all going to crypto. But remember, there has been no flight to quality treasuries. Quality? That he still calls treasuries quality when the debt is at higher than it's ever been in the history of the world, and he thinks that's quality? Come on. Now, this is John Kerry, who, I've never been a fan of, not because of his political leanings, but because he just comes across as a pompous guy to me. He just something about this guy, I don't know. Listen to what he says about quantum computing.
If we start to use artificial intelligence and quantum computing, and we build a national system which can be ahead of the curve, if we start to use...
So there you go. Anyway, that's just someone else talking about quantum computing. Just as a side note, when I went to Boston, I think last year on vacation, we were walking around. I don't remember what the name of the park was. It's where all the rich people live. But we were walking through there, and it's where Tom Brady used to live. And we walked by John Kerry's house. It was right next to where Tom Brady used to live. Okay, this was sent to me by Mickey B. Fresh. You know how I've been talking for the last week about how how Jay Clayton appears to be this bad guy, but the two people that he talked to more on his calendar in 2020 than anybody was Brian Brooks from the OCC and Heath Tarbert from the CFTC. And I was basically making the point that it defies logic to me to think that these guys are not all on the same page and they're talking all the time. Well, let Heath Tarbert tell you in his own words that all these people know each other.
The group of financial regulators at this time are very well connected. And the interesting thing is many of us have known each other. None of us thought we would all end up in this place, at the helm of various regulators, but there's a lot of connections there that have enabled us to work very well together. So 20 years ago, I was a summer associate in London, and I was assigned a partner mentor for the summer, and he was a newly young minted partner. Well, that person was none other than Jay Clayton. Yelena McWilliams from this FDIC. She and I worked on the same banking committee staff together. She ended up coming after me, but we knew all of the same people and have been friends for a decade. Brian Brooks, now leading the agency that you came from, Joanne, known him for a decade as well. And we had worked together when he was a general counsel and I was the outside law firm. And the list goes on and on of people that we've known. And as a result, I think we've really worked well together, and we've understood that we need to put sort of the past agency turf issues to the side to work for the common good, and particularly in areas involving innovation.
So they all work.
Turf issues to the side to work for the common good.
So they all work well together. So that means that tells me that Jay Clayton couldn't have been too far off on the page. Okay, now let's look. These are the Flare IOUs that are selling on BitTrue. This is the price right now. This thing has, 24-hour low is 11 cents. This thing has doubled inside of the last 24 hours. People are starting to smell a winner. That's what I believe. Okay. I wanted to make a point here. I called this Flare Ethereum 3.0, and I tweeted this out later. And I just wanted to run through the scenario. First, let's look at what the Spark token is. This kind of summarizes. It says 100 billion Spark tokens will be created to mirror the quantity of XRP that exists. There are approximately 45 billion XRP tokens that do not belong to Ripple Labs. The objective of the distribution is that XRP holders other than Ripple can claim approximately 1-for-1 amount of Spark to their XRP holding. 45 billion Spark will be claimable by XRP holders, stripping out known Ripple Labs addresses. 25 billion Spark will go to the Flare Networks Limited, which is the Flare's for-profit organization. 30 billion Spark will go to the Flare Foundation. And then Galgatron weighed in and said Spark total supply starts at 100 billion, but there's Oracle rewards inflation and transaction fee burns. So total coins will be a moving target, but it'll be around, I guess, 100 billion is my understanding. So let's look at this. I just wanted to show you what's happened with Ethereum over the last few years. And remember, Ethereum to me was more or less like a test of the first, smart contract platform. Not even the real world financial system really going live on it. It was really just the first test of it. But the supply of Ethereum is far lower than the supply of what Spark is. Okay. So, Ethereum's all-time high was, I believe, around 1,400. And so I don't see that, not in the short run. Who knows what Spark could do in the long run. But I just wanted to show you what Ethereum did. Ethereum, these were the years. 2016, 740%. 2017, 9,159%. And then it was negative on the other 2 years. You can see this year it's gone up 735%. But remember, all of this is like not really building a financial system around, more like, or it's, the last few years has been more or less a test. So the question is, what kind of returns do you have when it's not a test, but an actual, and I wanted to point out that there's also a little discrepancy here. If you look here, it says all-time low was 42 cents, and it's gone up 278,000%. And then here it says Ethereum return on investment, which the approximate return on investment, if you purchased it at the time of launch, is 41,326%. So I don't know which ones of these numbers are, I mean, but the point is that, look, it's over 10,000%. What investment do you know of that's done that in a 4 or 5 year period ever before crypto got here? I just wanted to show you that, to point all that out. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I believe Flare, the Spark, is going to be Ethereum 3.0 or higher. Thank you for listening.